Your reasons for listening to the show, well, those are your own. But just keep in mind that the views, information, or opinions expressed on the Tuddle Daily Podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of our sponsors. Yeah, it's called free speech, people. Nobody's forcing you to listen.
Get ready for your daily dose of Tuddle.
The all-time greatest intern/producer we've ever had, of course, Tuddle. Tuddle in Florida.
From the Hobo Fish Camp, it's the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
No wonder nobody likes you, Tuddle. Everything's a goddamn debate.
Greetings and welcome to another edition of the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hope you guys are enjoying your day so far. Make sure you go to my website, Tuddle.net. The reason I'm telling you to go to Tuddle.net, I wanted to make it easiest as possible for you guys to be able to vote for me in the Orlando Weekly Best of competition. I need you to write me in on the category Best Podcast Not on the Radio. I know that I've been hitting this hard. I'm kind of campaigning right now. I'm doing my whole politician deal. Even though I hate politicians, guess what? I guess I got to play the game just a little bit. But I know that I'm most likely not going to win this. Like I've told you before, Tom and Dan have won this competition for like 8 straight years. But I just want to be nominated. Because I've seen the list of some of the podcasts that have been nominated. And I'm not talking trash about any of those podcasts at all, but come the fuck on, people. Like, I'm doing this podcast on an iPhone right now in a 2006 beat-up PT Cruiser in a place I call the Hobo Fish Camp. Plus, I'm dealing with a lot of shit on my plate at the moment. So yeah, I think that my content, my sound quality is better than a lot of the jobbers that are that have been nominated in years past. Like, everybody thinks that they can get on and do it. You know, the other thing that I think is really, really funny are these comedians. These comedians, local comedians, not the ones that have, like, made it big, but the ones that are doing, you know, openings and just, you know, playing, like, the Funny Bone or Bonkers. I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about the improv or anything like that, but yeah, just the local comedians that think, oh, I'm funny on stage. I can be funny on a radio show or a podcast. It just doesn't translate. It is two very, very different things. As a comedian, when you're on stage, you can actually hear what's getting a reaction or not getting a reaction. That doesn't happen on the radio. You just got to be good at what you do. You got to be confident that you know what you're saying is compelling or entertaining. And it just does not work out sometimes. I hate how they shoehorn these amateurs onto radio shows. And I really do have to get better at not comparing what other people are doing. Because it infuriates me sometimes when I turn on the radio and I hear some of the people that they allow on the air, that they allow to be able to do something in radio, ones that have not had to pay their dues, not ones that have had to cut their teeth, the ones that have had to sacrifice for so many years. But yeah, for some reason, they got a full-time paying gig on terrestrial radio. But yeah, no, I'm not trying to sound bitter, guys. I know, I recognize that I don't need to compare myself to other people that are doing well, the one that maybe has done a 10th or even a quarter of the time in the business that I have. So that's why I want you to go to Tuddle.net. Make sure you write me in. I like to keep it uniformed as possible. So when you write me in, make sure you write me in as the Tuddle Daily Podcast. You can go to my website, Tuddle.net. It's very, very easy. There's a banner right there at the top of the website that you can click on. It's going to take you to the Orlando Weekly website, and then you'll be able to write me in. I wanted to make it as easy as possible for you guys who support the Tuddle Daily Podcast. All right, so I don't talk about it a lot because I really do not post a lot of stuff on my TikTok page. If you ever want to follow me on TikTok, you can easily do that. I have some content up there, but just go to TikTok and search Tuddle on the radio. You know, that bugs the absolute hell out of me. You guys have known my mental issues. I'm obsessive compulsive, bipolar, manic depressive, just broken person. And like, I'll give you an example. With my contact list, whenever I meet somebody new, I probably have close to over 2,000 contacts in my iPhone. But they're all uniformed. I got detailed notes of where I met them, what they do, where they live, their birthdays, emails, cell phones, social media, as much as information as I can get. Now, one of the things that I have prided myself on, I don't even know that that's a word, but I'll go with it. Most of my social media, my emails, ways that you can get a hold of me, they were all uniformed. Like, I will give my ex-wife credit. Like, she was on top of all the social media before it became popular. And she registered at Tuddle with 2 Ds. You know, because a lot of people, they sleep on a social media and they're not able to get just a uniform name. Very, very simple. You don't want to have to add a bunch of numbers and stuff like that. So yeah, it bothers the hell out of me that my TikTok page is not just Tuddle. I had to go with Tuddle on the radio because I didn't jump on it soon enough. You know, when they had, what was that one that came before TikTok? God damn it, I can't even, Vine. Yeah, Vine, I even had Tuddle there. My Gmail, when it first came out, my cousin was like, dude, you got to get on this Gmail. I was able to get Tuddle with 2 Ds, Tuddle @gmail.com, Twitter.com/Tuddle, Facebook.com/Tuddle, Instagram.com/Tuddle. Everything is Tuddle except that one TikTok thing, and it bugs the piss out of me, and it is Tuddle on the radio. Well, also my PayPal, too. God damn it, I didn't even think about that one. PayPal.me/Tuddle on the radio. But I digress. Let me get into this TikTok thing. I don't post a lot of stuff on TikTok, but I do get a lot of sound bites and stuff, audio that I might be able to use for like liners or promos and stuff. And I came across this one. Now, a lot of this stuff that you do see on TikTok is just complete, absolute bullshit. But I came across this one today, and I just had to try it out to see if it actually worked.
Whatever you do not say burgundy sauce and reverse it.
Okay, I'll admit, the first time that I saw this TikTok video, I was like, okay, what could be so wrong about the word burgundy sauce when you reverse it? We've all done that. This reversing audio thing has even gone back into the 60s and 70s, because everybody would be like, oh man, one of the bands, they recorded their whole album, but if you play it backwards, it's like the devil talking to you. And I was racking my brain before I actually did this, because I have the capabilities of reversing the audio. I really do. But see, with cancel culture going on, I would love to be able to play what it actually says unedited, but I just cannot do that. I've been working at this podcast for over a year now. I've built an audience, and I am not going to do anything to jeopardize it. Do I think that I should be able to play what it says? Yes. I believe in absolute freedom of speech. You know, I've talked about this before. I hate racists. I hate racism. I respect all creeds, color, religion, whatever it may be. But it's also not against the law here in the United States to be racist or to say racist things. I mean, does it suck? Yes. Are those people just complete assholes? Yes, they are. But as long as they're not physically harming somebody because of their race or stopping them from practicing their civil liberties, It's all just words. But I'm also going to edit this, and I have edited the audio just to protect myself and also not be offensive to anybody in my audience that might be an African American. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you me saying burgundy sauce first, then I'm going to play it backwards, and you're going to be shocked at what it actually says. Burgundy sauce. Okay, obviously that was me saying it regularly. Burgundy sauce. I'm going to play it for you one more time, just so you know that I'm not playing any tricks with you with what I'm about to play when I reverse this audio. Burgundy sauce. Now, I hope all of you guys know that I do not support any type of racism at all, or racial slurs, or whatever it may be. But like I said, I do support absolute freedom of speech. I do. But I ended up beeping out the one word at the end where I can cover my own ass. You gotta understand, this is not me actually saying the word. This is me saying burgundy sauce in reverse. Saucy people. Like I said earlier, I did not believe this at all. Because like I said, most of the stuff that is clickbait on TikTok, and they will just come up with some of the dumbest stuff just to see if you'll go research it or fact check them. But I was absolutely shocked. And if you couldn't tell what the word was, when you reverse burgundy sauce, it says spicy N-word. Saucy. I mean, right there is proof that my ADHD does exist, because I said that it said spicy N-word. No, it says saucy N-word. Never in a million years would I think that the word burgundy sauce reverse would say saucy N-word. It's one of those dumbass things that just blows my fucking mind. Saucy. All right, guys, welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I've said this a lot. I don't like getting political, but I also want to talk a little bit about this next news audio that I'm going to play. And the reason I'm talking about it, you guys hear me talking about my producer, Vulture, all the time. Now, you think, oh, well, is it Tuddle just pretending that he has a producer to make himself look bigger than what he actually is? No, this is a guy that listened to me on the Bubba the Love Sponge show, and he is a complete, total badass. The guy has been a lifelong fought in Afghanistan, and he got me a great interview, and I'm going to play this after the break, but I want to play this news story first. And, I know a lot of people agree that, oh, we need to get out of Afghanistan. We need to spend our money on bigger and better things. But like everything else, our government, we're just a bunch of dicks. And we wonder why the rest of the world hates us. This is one of the main reasons. Because my producer, Vulture, became really, really good friends with an interpreter. And I got a chance to be able to interview him. And like I said, I'm going to play that after the break. Kind of embarrassed on how bad the audio sounds, because it was before I actually invested in getting this Rode microphone that plugs into my phone. So what I'm trying to say is my producer, Vulture, ended up becoming really, really great friends with an interpreter from Afghanistan. Now, you also got to understand that puts a big-ass target on the back of the people that were helping our soldiers be safe. Vulture told me a story one time where it got really, really hairy at a checkpoint, that this interpreter of his that he became friends with was able to get them out of a tight spot because they were outgunned, maybe even outnumbered. And this interpreter was able to help our American troops get out of a pretty dangerous situation. And now, since that they are pulling out all the troops out of Afghanistan, these interpreters they will be hunted down because, trust me, they know exactly who they are, and they're going to be executed. They will be killed without a doubt. And I think that it is absolute bullshit that we are not helping out these people that helped out our American troops, the ones that are defending our freedom, the war on terror, and we're just going to leave them behind and get slaughtered like a bunch of lambs.
Taliban insurgents capture a district in the north just in the past few days. Tonight we look at how the American exit is affecting Afghan nationals who've assisted the U.S. and were promised special immigrant visas. National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin tells us the future for them.
Damn. It seems like we get treated like the Afghanis. Like, I'm serious. This is the status quo. The government always will promise us stuff, and then when it comes time to pay the piper, they're like, "Oh, wait, what are you talking about? Oh, no, we never said that." This is what our U.S. government is actually counting on, like Americans, because we are so like in our own world. We don't care about what's going on outside of our country. We're like, oh, fuck those Afghans. No. We promised them that if you helped us out, you helped us interpret any of the language and help us out. Like I said, my producer Vulture might not even be here if it was not for his Afghanistan interpreter getting him out of a tough situation. And I really do think that the government needs to come and make good on their promises.
Could be bleak.
Their lives are in extreme danger.
For 7 years, Ismail Khan risked his life as a combat translator for the U.S. Special Forces in eastern Afghanistan. Now he is safely working in Seattle, but has this warning for the Biden administration about what the Taliban will do to the 17,000 others like him.
It will go after every single translator.
You know, a lot of people like to call me a libtard or a liberal, left-leaning type person. No. Like, I call it as I see it. I told you guys that I don't trust either side of the aisle. I don't trust any politician in all reality. They do not have our best means in their best interest. It just is not happening. And Biden has been talking about this big game of we're going to allow more immigrants into the United States of America. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, put one immigrant over another, but I think that the immigrants, the ones that risk their lives, risk their families' lives, should get first pick over any of these other Hispanics. And I'm not being racist. I'm not going overboard. But these people that have helped out our American troops need to get to the front of the line. But this is also a double-edged sword. I know why they're not wanting to bring a lot of these people over because, trust me, these terrorists, they're very crafty, they are patient, and they are smart. So I also wouldn't put it past them that they would be like, all right, here's what we're going to do. I want you to go volunteer for the Americans and tell them you're going to translate, then you're going to be able to get a visa, then you're going to be able to get into the country, and then we got a sleeper cell building up. But in my producer Vulture's case, that is not it's nowhere near that. Because I'm going to play like I said, I'm going to play the whole interview when we come back after the break. And you can hear that the guy that I'm interviewing, we call him Adam. We actually had to, disguise his voice. Because that's how serious it is, people. If they ended up finding out that he did an interview with an American, oh, all bets are off. And that's the other thing. Everybody also wants to ask why I call my producer Vulture. Why don't you call him by his real name? Do you also realize these terrorists, these Taliban people, they put a hit list out on any of these troops that have been working with these interpreters. And he just can't take that chance because he has a wife, he's got kids, and I don't blame him. But Biden needs to step the fuck up, be a man of his word, and if you're going to let any immigrants in, you got to let the ones that helped out our American soldiers.
Khan's story was immortalized in the book American Spartan about his boss, the legendary Green Beret, Major Jim Gant. The Taliban went after Khan's family for working with the U.S.
One of my nephew was kidnapped. He was about 10 years old.
Khan says U.S. troops called him their secret weapon.
Americans are nothing without the translator. It's their mouth, it's their ear, it's their eyes. If they leave them behind, they're gonna die. Most of them are gonna die.
And I don't want to hear from the right-wing MAGA people, the ones that say, we already got too many people here in the United States of America. We don't need to let any of these towel heads in here. No. You guys all, beat your chest and proudly say that you support the troops. So if you support the troops, the ones that you say, oh, we're fighting for our freedom, or the ones that say, fuck Colin Kaepernick because he took a knee and that's disrespectful to the troops. You know what's disrespectful to the troops? What's disrespectful to the troops is not making people be held accountable for promises that have been made to people that risk their lives as well as their families' lives to help out those same American troops that you said were disrespected because Colin Kaepernick took a knee. Then you're the biggest fucking hypocrite that I have ever seen in my life.
Chase Millsap served 3 tours in Iraq as a Marine captain and spent 5 years trying to bring his Iraqi counterpart, who faced death threats from ISIS, to the U.S.
When you work with the Americans, you put on our uniform.
Did you just hear what that Marine said? Those Afghans, they end up putting on an American military uniform. You don't think that is a big red target, like a bullfighter with a red flag saying, hey, any of you Taliban snipers out there? Yes, I'm an Afghan. I'm wearing an American uniform. Just pop me right in the back of the head and get it over with. No, guess what? These people hate the regime. They hate the terrorists, the same terrorists that were maybe had something to do with 9/11, the ones that want to kill Americans. Some of these Afghans that are risking their lives to be interpreters are more patriotic than some Americans that live here in the United States of America and take it all for granted. They take their freedoms for granted.
That's a mark for you, and your life gets exponentially dangerous.
Millsap worries about the guilt U.S. troops will feel if the State Department abandons these translators.
All right, I'm not going to speak for my producer, Vulture. I mean, he has not come out and said that he feels guilty or anything, but I can tell. I know how hard he is working to be able to get the interpreter that helped him out, got him out of tight situations. Because, I talk to Vulture all the time, and Vulture tells me, he's like, I'm doing everything that I can to be able to get this interpreter that helped us out to be able to get to America. See, that's the thing about it. If you're from Afghanistan and you have helped out the troops, I say as long as you can get here on American soil, you should be able to claim political asylum. If the Cubans can do it, the Afghan people might as well be able to. But I know, like I said, Vulture has never come out and said it, but I know for a fact he probably does feel guilty. He does, because there's nothing he can do right now because he is still a part of our U.S. military right now. So he's got to go by protocol. And if any of you guys have any solutions or anybody that might be able to help out, please email me Tuddle@gmail.com. That's Tuddle with 2 Ds, Tuddle @gmail. And I would like to talk to you because I would love to be able to help out, because I know how much this would mean to Vulture to be able to make this happen.
I bet you that there are veterans out there right now who are terrified and really nervous about whether or not their interpreters are going to make it out.
The Pentagon says the defense secretary wants to help.
He is very supportive of the president's desire and the State Department's efforts to expand and to accelerate the special immigrant visa program so that we can do right by these individuals.
Bullshit. This is what most politicians do. You know, here with all the social media and stuff that we have here, all the distractions, all the reality TV, the politicians all just tell you what they want you to hear. They know that the American citizens have such a short attention span, and we'll all forget about it because it does not affect us. Does not affect us at all. We're going to go to bed. We're going to wake up. We're going to be safe. And if you guys support the American military and you claim to be patriotic and you do not support and hold these politicians accountable for the promises that they've made, you're no better than how you guys have demonized Colin Kaepernick from taking a knee during the national anthem, because it makes you unpatriotic, because these people, these interpreters, put their lives on the line to protect our troops. And I don't understand why people are not more infuriated about this whole mess, because these politicians are counting on American citizens just forgetting about it and moving on and not thinking about it twice.
Congress is getting impatient.
If we do not give them special immigrant visas, they will be left behind and be slaughtered by the enemy.
They're being hunted down right now as we speak. They are reaching out to me, these interpreters, in a panic.
So, you Americans, the ones that claim to be patriotic, the ones that lay their head on their pillow every single night, not having to worry about if we're going to be invaded by other countries or when the next terrorist attack's going to happen. You know, you say you support the troops. Well, then you need to step up. Because during that audio, you heard from a Green Beret, you heard from a Marine, you also heard from one of those interpreters. And if I'm just being honest, and I might get a lot of hate for what I'm about to say, but I would almost bet you some of these Afghans that have helped out our American troops love America more than any of you people out there. They are more patriotic. They love the country. They are going to be harder workers. They're not going to be on welfare when they get here, because they are proud people, and they showed that. They showed how much they love America by putting their lives, as well as their families, their friends, their loved ones, in danger to help out and make our American troops safer. All right, gonna take a quick break. When I come back, I am going to play the interview that I did with Vulture's interpreter from Afghanistan. Now, I will warn you, the audio is not that great. We also had to disguise his voice. We also gave him an American name. So I'm forewarning you, the audio is back when I first started the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Matter of fact, today's show is 393. This is from episode 116. Be back in a few minutes. You are listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast.
Great news, folks. You now have the chance to see the face in front of that sexy voice. Right you are, sir. The Tuddle Daily Podcast streams Monday to Friday on YouTube. Anything can happen at the Hobo Fish Camp. Okay, sir. That's enough. Okay. So go to youtube.com/Tuddle. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you're notified anytime Tuddle goes live. Good job, sir. Questions? Comments? Concerns? Compliments? Or do you just want to tell Tuddle to fuck off? In any event, contact Tuddle. Tuddle@gmail.com. It's Tuddle with 2 Ds, dumbass.
What's up, Adam? How are you?
I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Doing wonderful, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak with me today. I'm really, really honored. You're calling from Afghanistan, and I don't want to say where, but I'm so interested in the culture, and that's why I'm excited to be able to get a chance to talk to you today. How's your day been so far?
Yeah, it was really good. I had some private tasks at downtown. I've endured. Today was very good.
Now, right now, what time is it over there where you're located? Because you guys are way ahead of us when it comes to time zones. I was just kind of interested. Is it nighttime right there where you're at?
Yes, it is nighttime here. It is 8:34 p.m. And everywhere is dark.
Now, one of the things that I was very interested about, what is it like growing up in your country? Like school, like Give me an idea of a normal day of a kid growing up in Afghanistan.
As you know, normally in Afghanistan, like the same like other countries, we start the school at age 7, and from age 7 up to 12th grade, we are studying that. It means that we are completing the high school when we are 19-year-old. So during that, most of Afghans are suffering really bad times. Like most of them are starving, and the kids are going outside and beside their schools. They are working on the streets selling crafts to people. But fortunately, we have a free education institution in Afghanistan from class first up to grade 12. The education is free here. But yeah, we can say that the quality is not good, but it's free in Afghanistan. And usually the kids are they have different kind of sports here. They play soccer. Sometimes nowadays cricket is very famous in Afghanistan. We have cricket teams, and in the summer and winter, only for 1 month they're flying kites to the sky. And yeah, just they're doing this.
Now, I'm very curious. You speak English very well. Where did you pick that up at? Where did you learn English?
So I can say that when I was kid in Afghanistan, you remember that here in Afghanistan, Mujahideen, and there was a fight between the Mujahideen and Soviet Union in Afghanistan, and it was like a battleground between these powers, and the local leaders was also engaged on that. So we had a chance to escape from, and we immigrated to for some years. And on that time, I was like maybe 3-year-old, but still, most of the time, at the summertime, we were coming back to Afghanistan to spend some time with our families and grandma, grandpa. So on that time, we were witness that, it was the battleground, and rocket was getting fired from one port of to other port of. And on those time, the time was not bad, but at least we had a little bit good time because we escaped from.
Now, let me ask you, okay? I'm very curious about your culture. What is the main image that most people from Afghanistan have about Americans? Or do they love our culture? Do you guys ever watch any of our movies or entertainment at all, or no?
I'm really sorry, I missed one part of your question.
I mean, what
question?
So
I will tell you. You asked me that where you learned the English. So I learned the English actually by reading the book. We were in middle school. That was the English middle school. So we learned the English from there. That was very basic. When we came back to Afghanistan, then I started reading the books and watching the movies like this. And my English it's better, and now I can speak. At least I can speak, but it's not like academic English. But I can solve all the problems. And your question that what is the? I mean,
do are you able to see any of our like TV, movies, anything like that in your country, or is that not something that you guys get to see a lot in your country?
fortunately, today's Afghanistan is modern Afghanistan, and we have more than 40 TV channels here. We have access to international medias as well. So we can see BBC and other international like Fox News, these channels as well in here. So currently we are having a good position in media. In Asia we are having good channels to broadcast the news and other shows. So usually we are watching the English TV, English movies and Indian movies.
Now, did you grow up in a big family? Like, did you have a lot of brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have brothers. One is older than me, and the other is younger than me. And sisters, both are younger than me. One of my sister got married 8 years ago, and my older brother got married almost 6 years. He's having 3 kids. Like we are living in a family with 12 members, and we are happy. Actually, this is the nature of Afghans. They mostly like to be a joint family and live together. So we are also at the same situation.
I find that very, very interesting. Now, you said your sister got married. How do men meet their partners who they end up marrying? Like, is it different than here in the United States?
Yeah, it's totally different in the United States. Like in Afghanistan, when a man wants to marry a girl, then first his mother has to go to see the girl and talk with their parents and take their approval that if they are agree, then after that the girl and the boy can see each other. Like that before getting married in Afghanistan, the boy and girl are not seeing each other. It's arranged marriage, not love marriage. So yeah, most of the time they are some families like us. We are giving chance to our sisters to have a conversation with the boy and see that if they can live together for a long time, then we are not having any issue with them.
Now, something I've always been interested in, America, we have a whole bunch of different types of food. What is? Give me an idea of what the food is like in Afghanistan, like some of your cuisines and stuff that are related to your country.
Yeah, we have variety of food here. I've been in America. I saw your foods as well. Yeah, but the foods are very different here. We have 3 or 4 type of rice here. One is called kabli, the other one is called normal palau. The other one is called marsh palau with different flavors, with different mixtures. And also we have different type of barbecues, like we call it kebab, chapli kebab, karai. And these are the foods that we are eating usually. And also we have different type of dumpling. So we have a variety of foods here.
Now, you don't have to say where, but give me an idea of some jobs that you've had. You don't have to say where, but like, what was one of your first jobs growing up as a kid?
Actually, before I graduated from the school, I was working with my father. He was sewing the clothes for others. So we had a shop in. So I was working under my direction of that the clothes for the customers. So that was my first job when I was 9 years old. So I started job on that time. And after some years, when I graduated, I was 17 years old. That I applied for a job as an admin and HR manager. On that time, I was graduated from BBA, a DBA diploma in business administration. So I had the knowledge to how to manage the human resource office. So I got a job in an international organization. And that time was my first.
Now, I want to ask, how do you know my friend Vulture? Like, Tell me about him because I just met him. What kind of guy is Vulture?
Vulture is really a good and kind man. I was working with one of the international organizations here in. So he came as my supervisor. We had really good time. And I learned a lot from him. He's very honest. So really, at the same time that I was working for them, at the same time I was learning from Vulture. And after that, I know him, and he's in contact with me.
I hope I'm not offending. Are women do women go to school in Afghanistan? Are they allowed to work or no?
It's different. Like we cannot judge all Afghanistan. Like within in a boundary around like 15 kilometers, the girls are allowed to go to school, and they have their own choice. If their family and if they want to go to school, their family do not have any issue with them. But going far from it's a little bit restricted due to security situation. They cannot go to school, or some of them, if they're going to school, they are getting tortured by the insurgent, and they say that this is not our traditional. You have to be inside your home or something. But yeah, we can find a lot of people who are living in the province. They can also go to school, and they go to school. But yeah, the security is a big concern. The people have a kind of fear from Taliban and insurgents, and most of them were living in villages. They cannot join the school.
What if there's a couple of things that you could give me that the American citizens wouldn't know? What do we need to know about the citizens of Afghanistan? Because we don't hear a lot of stuff. And I just want to hear from somebody that actually lives there, because we only hear certain things, but there's just more to the story.
All right. As far as I know, all Afghan people are actually thirsty of peace in Afghanistan, because they suffered 4 decades in a battleground, in a battle among the superpowers of the world, like the Soviet Union, the Taliban, the Mujahideen, and before the America engagement, where they were supporting the Mujahideen to fight against the Soviet Union. The local people are very peaceful. They are thirsty of peace. They are waiting for us to live in peaceful environment. But unfortunately, their desires are not getting true. So these are the problems. So the things that you want to know about Afghanistan, our Afghan people more, is that people of Afghanistan now knows that who is actually the enemy of Afghan people. But the problem with Afghans are that everybody is shouting, like local people, like I'm not politician, but as an Afghan, I can say that the problem is with the problem is actually with the international countries. I mean, the foreign countries that they are coming to Afghanistan and fighting against, investing against to fight the Afghan military army or the US army, which is I cannot name, which is in our neighbors. But sometimes the foreign countries are not listening to us. That who is the actual enemy, and who is giving the safe haven for these militants. So everybody in Afghanistan is now wanting the peace that they are not getting.
When was the last time that they had peace? No fighting going on. Has it been going on for a very long time?
Actually, I don't remember that, because I'm 30, but since I'm the fight is actually more than 4 decades. And my parents are saying that when they were kids, they were listening on the news that the one was attacking on Jalalabad, and the Mujahideen was ambushing the military camps in this part of Afghanistan. And this fights continues even from more than 50 years ago. So we have never seen peaceful Afghanistan in the past, and we are just hoping to see a peaceful Afghanistan in future.
Do you feel safe on a daily basis?
No, not only me. Nobody feels safe. But as far as I have worked with the international organization and also with some youth-based organization in Afghanistan, I'm not feeling safe because you know that still the war is going on, and I cannot go even 10 kilometers far from main city. Like from Greenwood, I cannot go to other parts of which is far from here up to 10 kilometers.
Now, yesterday we celebrated the birthday of our country. Do you guys have something similar to that, where you guys celebrate the end, or the birthday of your country?
Yes, we have a birthday. Like that birthday is belong to Prophet Muhammad. We celebrate only that day. We are not celebrating a birthday of a president, but yeah, we celebrate the this day. Unfortunately, our past some leaders, like I'm naming those, like Mazari was the leader of Hazaras. Ahmad Shah Massoud was leading the Shurai Nizar, the leader of Tajik. So after they passed away, their some people from their families and also some people from their province are celebrating this day by firing heavy rifle on the streets and closing the roads to regular public, creating problems, killing the people. Yeah, we have this kind of celebration more than peaceful celebration, unfortunately.
Now, Sundays, a lot of people worship on Sundays. What day is your holy day there? Because I'm just curious, because I'm so interested in many different religions.
Actually, that's not Sunday. We have a prayer which is called Namaz al-Jum'ah. We pray that at 1 o'clock in Fridays, and we have another holidays which is to Eid. We have one Eid al-Ramadan and the other one is the Eid al-Qurban. We celebrate those days just based on our religion and Islam. So we just celebrate that. If you remember, some people are going to Arabistan for doing the Hajj and coming back to Afghanistan. When they are returning back from Hajj, we then celebrate Eid al-Qurban, and which is only for 3 days.
That is very interesting. Hopefully I did not offend you. I'm just very curious because I'm very interested in your religion and learning about it. Well, I really do appreciate the time with you today. If there's anything you would ever need, please feel free to ask. You're a very good man, and I'm very honored to be able to get a chance to speak with you.
Really appreciate it, sir. Thank you.
All right. Have a good one. And Vulture will be hitting you up. Thank you so much for the time.
Welcome, sir. Thank you for giving me time to speak with you.
Well, now, is there any questions you have for me? Maybe anything you want to know?
No, actually, I know everything about you guys. I have worked more than 5 years with Americans. Since during these 5 years, we had a lot of discussion with Americans. And I know all their cultures. They are very good people. I have met a lot of friends in my job, so all of them are Americans. Yeah, they are really good people.
Orlando Weekly, Best of Orlando. Write the Tuddle Daily Podcast in the category for Best Podcast Not on the Radio. Visit Tuddle.net, where you'll find a direct link, so you can't complain that it's too complicated. And if you don't live in Orlando, no problem. If you're a supporter of the show from anywhere around the world, you can vote too.
Wish you could have just flown and had your vehicle arrive a day or two later so you can enjoy more time doing what's important to you? Well, you can. Just give Starfire Transport a call. Let the professionals do the driving while you're flying. Starfire Transport specializes in RV and auto transport. They'll also haul watercraft from boats to PWCs, cargo trailers, and more. Service available throughout the continental United States. So don't wait. Call Brian today at 574-349-4193 or 989-751-6106 for your next move. 10% off for veterans past or present. Also, make sure to tell them Tuddle sent you for an additional discount. That's Starfire Transport. Want to support the show? Go to paypal.me/Tuddle on the radio.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Tuddle Daily Podcast, last segment of the day. Once again, I want to apologize for the quality of that audio. You know, I'm almost embarrassed to go back and listen to some of the earlier shows from the beginning of the Tuddle Daily Podcast because it just makes me cringe when I hear how bad the audio was compared to what it is now. Because I was just basically talking into my phone, doing the podcast, and it wasn't until I had Dan Stone help me rough in my settings on my dynamic processing, as well as investing in buying this Rode mic. If you're ever wanting to start a podcast, you do not need to waste a lot of money on expensive equipment. Just go and research Rode, R-O-D-E, microphone. And if you got an iPhone, they sell a lightning version of it, a lightning connector version of it. And it is such a great microphone. It is studio quality, in my opinion. And I don't want you guys to think, oh, Tuddle's getting lazy. He's repurposing audio. You know, I really usually don't do that. But I also thought it would be great because I'm sure a lot of people had review. And I know that the audio, Adam, was kind of hard to be able to understand. But you also have to understand we had to disguise his voice. Also, you were hearing the beeps in there. There were certain things that he was saying that could give out his location that we had to get rid of. Me and my producer, Vulture, probably sent that audio back and forth to each other probably a half, maybe to 10 times, a half dozen to 10 times of just, all right, this needs to be taken out, this needs to be taken out. His voice is not disguised enough. But I'm not getting lazy, guys. You also got to understand, I'm dealing with a lot of stuff. Like, I go through my bouts of insomnia, but it has not been as bad as it is right now. Holy crap. Like seriously, it is bad. And physically, it's starting to affect me physically. Like, I'm getting chest pains. I'm getting all types of stuff like that. And I'm not trying to, like, oh, Tuddle's trying to get sympathy for us. No, that's not it. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys. Because I don't want you to think that I'm getting lazy just because I repurpose an interview that I did with a real Afghan. And I thought it was a great interview. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys enjoyed today's show. Hope you guys are safe. And I will talk to you tomorrow.
And that's the show for today. Thanks for listening to the Tuddle Daily Podcast. Hey, don't be a dickhead. Do us a favor. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. Also, check out the Tuddle category at 315live.com. The Tuddle Daily Podcast is brought to you by Starfire Transport, StitchYouUp.com, and PocketPairClub.com. Special thanks to show producer Vulture and co-host Sirach. Show voiceover service is brought to you by jcvoiceover.com and The Little Cheese Show. Download and subscribe to The Little Cheese Show everywhere podcasts are found. If you want to help support the show, go to paypal.me/Tuddle on the radio. You have something you want to say? Tuddle@gmail.com or leave a voicemail at 407-270-3044. To follow all Tuddle social media, go to Tuddle.net. That's Tuddle with 2Ds.net. Thanks again for all your support, and we'll see you tomorrow on the Tuddle Daily Podcast.